Have you ever wondered how a teenager sitting in a small bedroom became one of the most powerful creators on the internet? How did a kid with almost no money become someone who gives away private islands, luxury cars, millions of dollars, and even entire houses? Because if you look at MrBeast today, his success feels almost impossible. Hundreds of millions of subscribers, billions of views, a global business empire, and a level of influence that most celebrities can only dream about. But behind all the money, all the fame, and all the viral videos is a story filled with obsession, sacrifice, failure, and an unbelievable willingness to keep going when almost everyone else would have quit. Before the giant challenges, before the giveaways, before the world knew his name, Jimmy Donaldson was simply a teenager with a dream so big that almost nobody believed it could become reality. This is the incredible story of MrBeast. Jimmy Donaldson was born on May 7, 1998, in North Carolina, United States. Unlike many successful entrepreneurs, Jimmy wasn't born into wealth. His family lived a normal middle-class life. There were no private jets, no luxury cars, no powerful business connections. His childhood looked ordinary. But from a very young age, Jimmy became fascinated by something that would eventually change his life forever: the internet, more specifically, YouTube. While most kids watched videos for entertainment, Jimmy watched them differently. He studied them, analyzed them, dissected them. He wanted to understand why some videos exploded while others failed, why some creators became famous, and why others disappeared. Most people watch YouTube. Jimmy wanted to understand it. And that difference would eventually change everything. In 2012, at only 13 years old, Jimmy uploaded his first YouTube videos. The channel was tiny. The videos were simple: gaming content, random commentary, funny experiments, nothing special. Most videos received only a handful of views, sometimes fewer than 10. Weeks of effort could result in almost no audience at all. For many people, that would have been enough to quit. But Jimmy wasn't focused on views. He was focused on learning. Every upload taught him something. Every failure became information. Every mistake became experience. While other teenagers spent time hanging out with friends, Jimmy spent thousands of hours studying YouTube. He learned about thumbnails, titles, audience retention, watch time, algorithms, virality, and content psychology. His obsession grew stronger every year. As time passed, YouTube became more than a hobby. It became an obsession. Jimmy would spend entire nights talking about YouTube with friends who shared his passion. Hours turned into days. Days turned into years. Most teenagers worried about school grades. Jimmy worried about click-through rates. Most teenagers thought about sports. Jimmy thought about viral videos. Most teenagers dreamed about college. Jimmy dreamed about becoming the biggest creator in the world. People around him didn't understand. Some thought he was wasting his life. Others believed he should focus on a more realistic career. But Jimmy couldn't stop. Because deep down, he believed something extraordinary was possible. Then came the breakthrough. In 2017, Jimmy uploaded a video that sounded completely ridiculous. He decided to count from 1 to 100,000, out loud, one number at a time. The challenge took nearly 44 hours. It was exhausting. It was repetitive, and it seemed completely insane. But Jimmy understood something powerful. The internet rewards things people have never seen before. The video exploded. Millions of people watched. News websites talked about it. Social media shared it everywhere. For the first time in his life, Jimmy experienced real viral success. After years of almost nobody watching, the world finally noticed, and everything began to change. Instead of slowing down, Jimmy worked harder, much harder. He started creating increasingly crazy videos, reading dictionaries, watching paint dry, completing bizarre challenges, testing the limits of what viewers would watch. Each video became more extreme, more creative, more entertaining, and slowly the audience grew. Thousands of subscribers became hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands became millions. For the first time, Jimmy could see a future where YouTube wasn't just a dream. It was becoming reality. Then came the idea that would completely change his career: giving away money. At first, the giveaways were small, a few $100s, then a few thousand, then tens of thousands. People couldn't believe what they were seeing. Strangers receiving life-changing amounts of money, waiters receiving giant tips, homeless people receiving help, random people winning huge prizes. The videos spread everywhere because, unlike most creators, Jimmy wasn't just entertaining people, he was shocking them. Viewers had never seen anything like it before, and they couldn't stop watching. Soon, MrBeast became known as the creator who gave away money. But what most people didn't understand was the strategy behind it. Whenever Jimmy earned money from YouTube, he didn't spend it on luxury. He reinvested it. Every dollar earned became fuel for an even bigger video. A successful video paid for a bigger challenge. A bigger challenge generated more views. More views generated more money. More money created even bigger content. It became a cycle that transformed a small creator into a global phenomenon. As the channel exploded, Jimmy built a team around him. Friends like Chandler, Chris, Carl, and others became important parts of the MrBeast universe. Instead of doing everything alone, he built an organization. Each person had a role. Each person helped create bigger and better content. What started as a teenager with a camera slowly transformed into a professional media company, and the scale kept growing. Soon the challenges became legendary. Last to leave circles, last to remove hands from expensive objects. Extreme survival challenges, massive competitions, private island giveaways, luxury car giveaways, entire houses being given away. The prizes became bigger, the production became larger, and the audience became obsessed. Millions of people waited for every upload. Every video felt like a major event. Then came one of the most famous moments in YouTube history. MrBeast recreated the Netflix phenomenon Squid Game. The project cost millions of dollars. Hundreds of contestants participated. Massive sets were built. The production looked more like a Hollywood movie than a YouTube video. When the video launched, it exploded across the internet. Millions watched within hours. It became one of the biggest YouTube videos ever created, and it proved something important. MrBeast wasn't competing against other YouTubers anymore. He was competing against television, against streaming platforms, against the biggest entertainment companies in the world. But Jimmy wasn't interested in building only a YouTube channel. He wanted something bigger. He wanted an empire. First came Beast Burger, a virtual restaurant brand. The concept expanded rapidly. Locations appeared across the country. Millions of customers ordered food. The business generated enormous attention. Although challenges later emerged, Beast Burger proved that MrBeast could influence markets far beyond YouTube. Then came Feastables, his chocolate company. Many people assumed it was just another influencer product. They were wrong. Jimmy approached Feastables with the same obsession he applied to YouTube. Better products, better marketing, better packaging. The company quickly became a massive success. Millions of chocolate bars were sold, and Feastables grew into one of the biggest creator-led brands in the world. As his wealth increased, Jimmy began focusing even more on philanthropy. He launched projects that helped thousands of people, providing food, funding surgeries, supporting communities, building wells, helping families, paying for life-changing treatments. For many viewers, these projects became some of his most meaningful content, because behind all the entertainment was a genuine desire to help others. Of course, success also brought criticism. The bigger MrBeast became, the more critics appeared. Some questioned his business practices. Others criticized his content. Some argued that his generosity was designed for views. Others claimed his challenges were too extreme. But criticism follows almost every successful person. And Jimmy continued doing what he had always done. Working, improving, building, creating. One of the most remarkable things about MrBeast is his mindset. Even after achieving incredible success, he remained obsessed with improvement. Former employees and friends often describe him as someone who thinks about YouTube almost constantly. Most people dream about becoming successful. Jimmy became obsessed with understanding success, and that obsession separated him from almost everyone else. Today, MrBeast stands at the top of the creator economy. Hundreds of millions of subscribers, billions upon billions of views, multiple successful businesses, global recognition, and an influence that stretches far beyond YouTube. But his story isn't really about money. It's not about subscribers. It's not even about fame. It's about obsession. It's about persistence. It's about believing in a dream long before anyone else believes in it. Because there was a time when almost nobody watched his videos. A time when success seemed impossible. A time when people thought he was wasting his future. Yet he kept going. Day after day, year after year, failure after failure, until eventually, the world noticed. MrBeast's greatest achievement isn't the millions of dollars he gave away. It's not the records he broke. It's not the businesses he built. His greatest achievement is proving that extraordinary success often begins with ordinary beginnings. A teenager sitting in a small bedroom became one of the most influential creators in human history. Not because he was lucky, not because success was guaranteed, but because he became obsessed with a goal and refused to quit. And that's why the story of MrBeast continues inspiring millions of people around the world. Because it reminds us that sometimes the craziest dreams are the ones worth chasing, and sometimes the people who change the world are simply the people who refuse to give up. This wasn't just the story of MrBeast. It was the story of what can happen when belief, hard work, and obsession come together. And that's why his journey is far from over.